Welcome to the Help Me with HIPAA podcast. My name is David Sims of HIPAA for MSPs. Joining me is a bunch of people today. So we have Donna, Elizabeth, Carla, Krista. If you've never heard these names before, you've heard them. It's the ones we're always poking fun at.
Yeah, we always mention them at some point, and it'd be hard to listen to several episodes and never hear any of their names.
Yeah. So this is the Kardon Team, and
yes.
So we want to, for today's Thanksgiving episode, we're going to talk about things we're thankful for, and give everybody an opportunity to also talk about their recent scare.
Yeah. We're going to get their feedback on the social engineering test.
Yeah.
Remember, you're supposed to talk about what you're thankful for, though.
Yeah. But, we went over the social engineering test on the Halloween episode, but
yes.
We figured we'd let them tell you their part of it, which I don't know how much we'll have to bleep out from Krista, but
Carla's the one.
Whatever.
We'll do that. But first, I do want to say that we always owe a huge thank you to our editor-in-chief, Boyan. So Boyan, yes. Take this moment, introduce yourself. Now, everybody remembers you from, the once a year Christmas episodes, which, I'm always excited when those are coming around, but introduce yourself and tell everybody about yourself and what you're thankful for. And then we will dive into the others.
And point out that this is not a tradition in Croatia. So you're going to pretend you're at a dinner table with a bunch of stupid Americans. And we go around and say what we're thankful for. So
go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Thank you, Boyan, for that.
Bless his heart.
I know. I know. He has to put it with us.
That's a Southernism for real. Bless your heart.
Yeah. No kidding. All right.
It can, as Krista has already shown you, it makes it clear she's one of the most Southern of the group.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I don't think so. I think Elizabeth might take the cake.
No, just because I'm the furthest south does not make me more Southern. I have to get my Savannah in.
I know about that. Originally, we're from the same area, though. Middle Georgia, so.
Middle Georgia, like Middle Earth.
It is a region.
It is like Middle Earth. And to be honest, the furthest south of all of us raised in the furthest southern position is Carla, growing up in Fort Lauderdale. But ain't nothing southern about her.
No, I'm the least southern of the group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, all right. So one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we all talked about is that, David and I talk about the HIPAA boot camp, like he and I are magically able to pull that together as well, just like we don't do the podcast by ourselves, but yay. So to make it clear, when we pull off the HIPAA boot camp, these three are doing all of the heavy lifting that gets us there. And then David and I do a lot of chit chatting.
Mm-hmm. I just said, tell me when to be there and where to be, and I'll show up.
Yeah. And
by the way,
talk about this.
Make sure I bring my shirts, because I have been known to forget my clothing.
That Walmart run right before the meeting. Good.
I didn't know what I was going to do. I figured I had to show up in a wife beater. This is what your security program probably looks like.
Or one of our shirts.
Yeah, that would have been even better.
Yeah, we'll give you something really cute. So let's start with Krista. You introduce yourself. You don't have to do a long dissertation. Just and tell everybody what your role is on the team.
Well, I started with Donna back when I was just a mere child. And surprisingly, I've stayed with her all through now, and I'm, middle age, I guess you could say. So
If you're going to be 100, yeah.
yeah, soon. I feel like it sometimes. Yes, definitely. But no, I do a lot of pretty much all the services that we provide with Kardon. I have my hand in some way or another. So, but we mostly right now, especially working with folks, doing assessments, work with policies and procedures, do training, coaching calls, all kinds of things. But to help our clients get their programs in line and improve their compliance program. So a little bit of everything. So that's
And you're
pretty
the
much what I
techno
do.
nerd. We schedule
Techno
regular.
nerd.
Yeah, we have
We
on
have
the
a geek
calendar
time.
geek time. That's our time
Yep.
where we do not bother. Our conversations or do not involve the other two. Because they don't like
Okay.
when we start that. But yes.
I get a lot of questions from Elizabeth, a lot of text messages. What in the world is this? So,
All right. So of the three, Krista's the most technical. Let's go to Elizabeth, who's the least technical.
Absolutely correct. And I stand by it and proud of it. I am not a
should.
nerd.
You are just about different things.
That's right. True that.
Mm.
So my name's Elizabeth. I've been with Kardon for about 3 years, I guess now.
Wow.
And yep. I gave myself I am the CNO. I am the chief nagging officer. And I nag Carla a lot. She tells me I nag Krista. I nag Donna. I don't nag David too much, but I'm gonna have to start because I feel like
Yeah.
I'm leaving him out.
I got enough naggers around me.
Yeah. And most people, I think, is our clients. I nag them. I'm sure they get my emails, and it's not, oh, Elizabeth's emailed me. It's bleep.
That's how I feel when I get one from Carla. It's every time I get an email from Carla, it's work. It's like, I need you to do this. I'm
It's a client we're working on together.
Yeah. Welcome to my world, David.
But I did send her a late happy birthday email, which she didn't reply to. So I don't know if she's mad at me for being late or what.
Yeah, it was Carla's birthday this weekend. So, or this just day before yesterday. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what day it is. So it was on Wednesday.
So do you have birthday weeks like my wife does?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. His birthday.
The whole week.
Yeah. That's kind of what I thought. It's my birthday week. I'm like, great. It's like the 12 days of Christmas.
So I wanted to ask Elizabeth, the rest of us have all been working together for a long time. David and I have been working together. Next year will be 10 years that we've been working together. Yeah. Yeah. And the other two, it's been decades. What is it like coming into this team and the work that we do, trying to understand it and be how did you feel that first year?
Yeah, I remember the TV show Lost. I mean, I was learning right with the clients, and I'm thinking, holy crap, how, at least I've got a direct line in to Krista and Carla and Donna, and I felt kind of sorry for them, and I felt even more sorry for them when they called me asking, looking for answers. So now I know this much.
Yeah.
But it's a lot, but it's fun.
And how many boot camps have you been to at this point? Because you come to the boot camps.
Oh, yeah.
All the team comes to the boot camps.
Yeah. And it was probably about the third boot camp when I really started going, I remember that. I know how to apply that now. So it's, it's a lot. I've been to maybe 6, I think, going on maybe. So 5 or 6. And they're always fun, and I'm not sure who's going to say what, when, and where, but.
Well, but the other thing is your background. You had a background in dealing with compliance requirements, and project management and those kind of things. And you had a little exposure to healthcare.
Mhm.
Yeah. And no real technology exposure. So you are as much of a petri dish to me as anything else, because basically you've been that person that gets, what we call voluntold, or you miss the meeting when you get assigned to be the compliance officer, kind of thing. So what advice do you have for those kind of people now that you've really started applying things? What do you know, something that you wish you had known before you got into this? And it can't be don't take the job. That's not an option. Do you wish you knew something going in other than don't take the job?
I mean, no. I mean, the thing about most of it is because I remember that like the first month or so, I think, is when HIPAA came out, and you were like, go read this document and tell me what you think. Like, what do you mean? What is this what are these words? What are these acronyms? When you're starting to read those documents, make sure you have Dr. Google sitting beside you so you can Google what they mean. So, but
but see, that's the kind of information, because the rest of us read that and we're like, oh yeah, I get it.
Oh yeah, no. That's why I was like, you need to tell them what 1MA, how to get there, or whatever. So yeah, it's a lot, but y'all make it fun. Is that a good word for it?
So just accept that you don't know.
Ask questions.
And ask questions. Don't try to assume. No, is that what you're saying?
I am saying ask a lot of questions, and don't feel like you're being stupid by not knowing it. Just ask it, because you can get it done faster and move on to the next thing, because the most precious commodity we have, I think, is time. And
yes, indeed.
Ask and move on.
She's also our philosopher. And a cheerleader and all these other things. So then that brings us to the one who's really in charge. As we have all noted, Carla is the one in charge.
The FTC, as we call her.
FCC.
FCC, yes. I am the most conservative of the group. When there's things on the podcast, I go, oh, can't we say that another way? In the early days, I would listen to the, what do you call them? The lead-ins, and help vote after it was one of yours, David, on, I think, episode number 2. And we're now a few episodes past that.
So I guess the story is that I used to pick the intros by myself until
episode 2.
It's 3 or 4. It was quick.
Yeah.
Until you pick the wrong one.
How quickly it was that I was pulled from that position when the intro was a bit inappropriate, according to Carla.
That's right. Well, she was mostly mad at me for actually saying it on a recording that then you could use to feature in the opening. So that is the clear thing where I point out Carla says she's not in charge, but we all know she's only in charge when she disagrees with what the person that is in charge is doing. But Carla's got that interesting background that's a unique background that's not technical, but so close to technical. And it's not her first rodeo.
No, I've been in the software and healthcare world for a long, long time.
Well into the previous century.
Worked in healthcare understanding, support, training. And I have a skill set that I didn't know at the time was a skill set, is that I translate geek. So I can talk to customers and clients and understand what they want, and talk to Donna, David, and Krista and see what they say and communicate between the two of what we need to do. So
yeah, and there's been plenty of times that's saved the day. because both sides are frustrated.
Well, she's also got a skill set with the events, which makes the boot camp so much easier for us. 'Cause
Yeah.
she can make them things happen.
Well,
which is going to come into play even more next year.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I can think of all the things going ahead and how we want it to look and all the moving pieces and parts. And it makes it really easy with the team. And we've gotten it down to a fine science, even the virtual ones. So a little bit of challenge there, but we're looking forward to next year in the boot camps and some of the exciting things that are happening.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Carla, would prefer to be a professional event planner, but she's skilled at this, and she's the car, so she's got to do this.
Yeah, I wanted
So
to be a hitman when I grew up.
Yeah, I could see that. Mm. So that is how we all connect and work together, because most of the listeners have a good guess at me and David that we're just kind of start babbling and everybody goes, "What'd you just say?" So this is the thing. Let who wants to go first to talk about how they felt about the during the social engineering attacks. Let's talk about that first, and then we can talk about how you felt when you found out. So who y'all tell that story however y'all want to tell it.
I'll start. I was concerned on what have we done, because there were things and there were emails that were occurring that I had no idea how it was happening. There were connections to people. I was afraid someone was in our email and I couldn't figure out how it occurred. So instantly got with the team, tried to make changes. We already have a really strict policies and procedures, passwords. We're changing passwords, working with our bookkeeper, making her change passwords, not only to us, but all clients, all kinds of fun things. So
there's a very important point you just made there. That is, he never went into our emails, but he was able to find out enough information externally to make you believe he was in those emails.
Absolutely, because there were things that other people should not have known besides the Kardon team or maybe David. So that was very concerning. And we were trying to backtrack how it happened, what happened. I always thought about, do you say anything? And Donna, you said, let's all freak out together. So we certainly did that, made comments. I need to say something. It's not a convenient time, but something's happening.
Mm-hmm. So, Krista, they were telling you, both of them were telling you, and you were telling them, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing I remember is an email. Was it Brent? What was his name? Something. We got an email, and immediately I was looking at it, I'm like, this doesn't sound right. I said, it sounds a little fishy to me. So I started looking at, the subject line and the who was it from, and I realized that my name was in the BCC, and I thought, this is not, real. Well, about that same time, Elizabeth's like, what in the world is this? So, it's her name. She got the same thing. And I think, and I said, well, where's your name? We talked about it being, I said, BCC. I said, this isn't good. I said, this is not for real. I said, it can't be. I mean, it could be phishing. It's not from an actual client, because I think it came through our website form or something. Somehow we got some information. But anyway, I was like, this doesn't seem right. And I think Elizabeth at that time went to Donna and said, what do we do here or whatever. I can't remember. Did you reply to it or something? I can't remember what you did, Elizabeth.
Well, yeah. Well, when I first came to you, I was asking because it said something about that he was listening to the podcast, and so he was emailing in, and that's when I went to you, because I was like, am I somewhere on this podcast thing besides them talking about me? How is he getting my name on that? So that was I didn't notice the BCC. I'll be honest about that. And so I did reply to him and just said, we can set up a call. And then from that, he just kept trying to get me. And so I got Donna involved, and I was like, what's this? And she was like, well, go see if you can find anything about him. And I'm like, how in the heck am I going to do that? So I got on Facebook and LinkedIn, and I found him through LinkedIn, and it looked like, honestly, he had impersonated, because there was a LinkedIn profile of a real Brian O'Connell with a face, with a profile picture. And then there was just the little avatar, whatever they're called. And I was like, oh my God, I think he really, that's just somebody not real. And so anyway,
Not real.
So anyway, so then of course I just, anything he sent me, I'm like, I'm not touching it. What do I do next? Somebody tell me what to do. I'm not touching the keyboard.
But you set up an appointment for me to talk to him.
I did, because
Both
Donna
of us.
told me. Well, Donna told me to. She said, set up and see. And so I said, I will, because he wanted us to sign an NDA. And I was like, well, you can drop it to our secure location. Here's our little folder. And he was like, well, here, we can't do this. So you click on that. And I was like, well, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to click on your link.
I follow rules.
But
Trying
I
to be
did
all
set up a
professional
call.
and all.
Yeah, I was professional. I didn't say, who is this? I know you lying. So,
Well, you'd already offered him the call, so I figured let's go through with it, see what happens. And so you guys were like stressing out and fretting over it, and I was trying to participate without fretting and let you learn and work it out.
well, and let me just do one little other thing that stressed me out was you made yourself another appointment like right after that appointment. I was like, how does she know that it's not going to only last 15 minutes? Wonder if it lasts 30, and then she's going to be late for the next appointment. And you knew the whole time that it was a fake call. So just know you added stress to me there too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
So
then we got the email where it had our bookkeeper's name in it, and I'm like, that was a little more freaky. And I'm like, somebody might email have gotten, or contacts might have gotten hacked or whatever. And I said, how would they know? I mean, I know how he knows now that I know it was William. I know how he knew that, but I was like, but it was supposedly from, what the email was supposedly from Donna asking about something about our bookkeeper. And I'm like, she don't ever email us that kind of stuff. Carla takes care of that kind of stuff. So I knew that couldn't have been right either. So.
And I thought it was Kim. I thought it was her.
Yeah.
Her email that had gotten.
but the whole time, the good news is you found things, they look suspicious, you acted on them properly. You didn't, ignore them. You didn't fall for them. David and I were very proud. We were very proud. And so I do want Elizabeth to share that you were so concerned. What did you tell your friend, family? You're having dinner over the weekend.
I was like, Kardon is being attacked right now. We are under attack. I was freaking out. And then I was telling everybody, I'm like, don't be clicking on anything because they might have gotten y'all through this or something. So don't, so yeah, I was in total freak out mode. Thank you.
And then what did they say after you told them what was really happening?
They were like, oh, really? But then I let them see the podcast that William did the last little bit.
Yeah. William did a video for those of you who want to see it. William did a video explaining what he was doing. We kind of all worked on this together, kind of thing. And Elizabeth just likes it because at the end he does say Elizabeth's an awesome employee, or he Yeah, he gives her accolades. So the next question is what'd you say? What did you think when I said look, David's already laughing. He knows what happens in his office. What did you guys think or say when you learned that we were tested and we did well?
And just so you know, I wanted to be on that call so bad because I wanted to see the reaction.
I was like, well, it didn't surprise me. I was like, it figures that you would do that kind of thing, but I didn't know it until then, of course. But I was like, well, we do this to our clients sometimes because we have that phishing service that we offer clients, and we, so I get to create those emails and those phishing scams all the time for our clients. And I thought, now they had just come back to bite us, So I was like, I wasn't surprised, once we found out. I was happily surprised, that it was not a real attack, but
But
I don't think I don't.
You're used to me doing stuff to mess with you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. And Elizabeth?
I'm so glad that is over.
I do have to say something about Krista. That at some point during this, she sends me an email and she's like, run these scans on our domains and check this and check that. And so I send Donna a message. I'm like, do you want me to do this? Because I mean, you and I both know why they're asking. And so Donna's like, no, don't worry about it. Don't do it. I'm like, okay. Next thing I know, I see a ticket come through our ticketing system. She just completely bypassed me. Like he's not moving fast enough. Yeah.
You did not
Exactly.
respond to my email. So Krista put in a ticket. I asked for it. You didn't respond. Krista said, I'll use our regular channel.
Yep.
Usually it's a turnaround of about 24 hours at the most. And I'm like, we'll find this out. We'll get this.
Yeah, she completely bypassed me. I was like, dang it. I still will.
Yeah, it worked. My team's on top of it, man.
I know. I wish some of my clients would do that instead of emailing me. Just go to the ticketing system. Stop emailing me.
I tell you, the frustration with me came afterwards too, because Krista made me delete everything from my phone and made me do something on my computer too. So to get everything set back up, that's the 2-week painfulness afterwards. And I'm glad that we weren't on video then, because there was some other beeps going on.
Yeah, some choice words.
Yeah. So then we know who was so excited to know that we did well. Let's go ahead and let you talk about how you handled it, Carla.
I did not handle it very well. Because there's only twice that I have been hit, and both times was on vacation. Krista hit me several years ago, and I tell clients about it with a phishing email. And thank goodness what I clicked on was Krista's email. And I was on vacation as well on this. And all of this happening prior is, when you go on vacation and you're trying to get everything done and it's a busy time of year, so you're busy on top of it. And now you think your email has been compromised, they're attacking Kardon. So we just have one more big stressor on top of it, and it's our business. So we are spending just night and day trying to figure out what's happening. So I was not excited. I probably said quite a few things that would be bleeped out. But after sleeping on it and marinating for quite a bit.
You mean ruminating?
Meditating.
Meditating. Yes, I did have to meditate over it too. It is the perfect time because it's when you're away, you're not thinking about it, and it's really, you never can relax. You have to always know and always be on guard. And it's important we're doing this at Thanksgiving. We're now at the time of the year when we tell clients, be careful. You're covering for other people. Things happen. You're in a hurry. This is shopping time for the bad guys, so you can't let up on security awareness, making sure you stop, you think before you click. The other key piece that I learned that we need to make sure we know is if something happens to your 365 account or your Google for Business account, how are you going to be notified? Is it a text message? Is it an email? What do you need to do? We're pretty good at talking to the team and understanding that, but understanding what to look for, just like you guys talk on the podcast about ransomware and what to look for, you need to know when something happens. But, hindsight, it was good. I'm glad we passed. We did learn some things. We have some policies and procedures that Krista and I are working on, more training, but
we're updating things. We're making changes based on it. So that's all good. And then the question I asked her during her, well, in the South, we say she pitched a fit. She was in a snit.
I was.
And I said, when is a good time to do this? Will there ever be a good time? No, you don't have data breaches. You don't have attacks when it's a good time to have them.
Oh, and I was on the call with Donna and Carla while they're at the hotel or whatever. And Carla's out on the drinking something on the patio during the vacation. And she walks back through, stomping back through, saying some choice stuff. She was like, "Ooh, I'm going to let you go and handle this because I got things to do."
But there is, there's never a good time. It happens at the worst possible moment. That's what we tell our clients. You're absolutely right, Krista. It applies to us as well. Valuable lessons. Don't ever let your guard down.
Yes.
I'm sure one of the things she said is David involved in this?
I think that was part of the bleep.
Well, originally she asked me, "Are you testing us again?"
Yes.
Because I got her one time years ago when I was testing another product, and I happened to send one to her. I wasn't even thinking about it, and I sent it to her. I know she's a big Amazon shopper, so I, sent something about Amazon, and she clicked on it, and then she's like, "God!" So she said, "Are you tricking me again?" So I was like, "Nope, not me this time."
Well, I did love it when she says to me, last year you did this phishing test because the previous year for Cybersecurity Awareness Month, I joined the phishing test, the phishing tournament, and put them in that, and without telling them. And so I guess we'll have to see what I do next October. But
we're gonna do a swatting event next October.
What the heck is that?
Well, it'll be when we did this during the September timeframe when we will be doing our first annual, whatever we're going to call it, training in-person event. So what were you going to say, Elizabeth?
What's swatting? What is that? Is that something else I need to know about?
See, ask the questions, people. Ask the questions. You got to answer her now, David.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to answer.
Staring at you like I'm
I was
waiting.
going to say, how you know she's staring at me?
I know her.
Yeah. So swatting is when someone calls the police to your house and with some kind of claim like you being held hostage or something like that, trying to get a SWAT team to respond to your house. That's swatting.
Yeah. And it is not a very good thing.
No.
No, we would never do that even as a test. But just know that we're not going to do that. It'll be a cybersecurity thing.
Yeah. So one of the
Take a whole
recordings.
month off.
Yeah.
I can't touch my keyboard. I'm sorry.
At one of the recordings, I don't think Carla knows this, but Don and I were about to do a recording, and this is when you guys were on vacation. And so Don and I are talking about what's going on. And she's like, "I'm just going to tell Carla when she comes back in that you're handling all this. You're going to take care of looking into everything so that she'll calm down."
Yeah, it was before I could tell you. I was trying to figure out something because she was just.
Oh yeah, it was a few days before she finally told you that she was like,
Mhm.
I've got to tell her. I've got to tell her. I'm like, no, not yet, not yet. I've got to. She's falling apart. She's having a nervous breakdown.
We're on vacation, so no rest, relax. You're like, oh my God, we are under attack, and it is something we have done, and we are so careful.
But
I don't know what we did.
The thing that surprised me about my team, and I don't know about you guys, but my team never asked, like, why aren't you more upset over this as it's happening?
Yes.
And neither did they.
Yeah, which kind of shocked me because I thought they would look at me and go, because typically I'm the one that's going, jerk everything out of the wall and nuke and pave everything. And I wasn't saying anything really. But nobody ever picked up on that, which was shocking to me.
I remained a
Well, I
calm
noticed
leader
that,
in the storm.
Normally when we go to Donna with something, she's pretty even keel. I mean, she doesn't really get hysterical, jump off, but she, it's like she said, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do this and take that and all this. And I was like, okay, so, she wasn't one to freak out. So, I did think of that. I thought, she doesn't normally freak out about stuff anyway. She just, goes about the logs and this is what we need to do. Let's check this. Let's check that. So she had me doing things, which would have been normal, But, the two of us would be the one checking most of everything and telling the other two things I needed to do or stop doing.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Delete this. Delete this. And then I can't make this thing work anymore.
Donald's like, tell Elizabeth to nuke her phone. That'll be funny.
I did nuke my phone. I nuked my computer. And I mean, anyways, yeah, it was a long time before everything got right too. So and I just kept hearing in my brain, security is not convenient. And I was thinking, my God, this is true.
Yeah. So, the lesson that is, we actually do practice what we preach.
Yes.
That is an important thing. And yes.
Well, one thing that I wanted to say is I thought you were being a breach coach, like you do with our clients when something happens. You're even keel, you're going through, what are the facts? What do we need to do? That's what I thought you were doing. In this instance is exactly as we think about response and recovery, and you have to be calm, cool, collect when things are happening. That's what I thought you were doing.
Well, I'm glad that because I know you all know that sometimes I can get somewhat emotional and vocal about things.
Carla, I'll tell you, she was really laughing most of the time.
I'm sure.
But the good news is that you expect me to, I was doing what you expected me to do. Mm-hmm. And David and I were like, I was like, I have to do it because I'm investing in training. And I had to just think about this is investing in training. So I am proud of how well you guys did. Congratulations. And sorry, not sorry. I feel like Reese's peanut butter cup. Sorry, not sorry. But do you have something you would like everybody else to know that you learned from this experience, other than you were stressed out and then mad at me for a little bit? Yeah, I think Carla's point of you don't get to, oh, well, I'm on vacation, so now I don't have to worry about it. And
well, knowing when something goes wrong with 365 or Google for Business, how are you going to know about it?
Right. So, because that's what a lot of them do is they start sending you text messages, asking you for stuff or getting you to do things, telling you something's wrong. Mm-hmm. So what you need to know, and that's a good point, is if something does go wrong, what will happen so that you know what it's supposed to look like. So that's a good thing we should talk more about. What's it supposed to look like?
Well, one of the things that it always, I always think about, I mean, and you're right, you know, it happens right before vacation, it happens right before the weekend, it happens right before holidays. You know, those are the main times that, you know, you really need to be on guard, you know, not, you know, you're trying to rush to get everything done, get out the door so you can start your vacation or the holiday weekend or whatever. It's concerning, and I think all compliance officers, privacy security folks need to train their staff that at 4:55 on a Friday afternoon when the holiday weekend comes up or something, and you get that strange email or you click on something you shouldn't have and you think, oh, I'll just handle it on Monday. Monday's could be way too late. I mean, it could have taken over the entire network by Monday, you know, I mean, in an hour. So training them to say, you know, stop, tell me you did it so we can handle it now, even though it's not an opportune time to do so. And, you know, that's one of those things that really kind of, I mean, for an administrator of some sort of any organization to worry about. I think make sure you train your staff appropriately, because you don't want them to say, oh, no, I'll just handle this on Monday. I'll tell them about it on Monday.
Yeah,
I'll tell them on that next week when I get back from vacation.
We were called in to consult on an incident that somebody had clicked on something. And one of the questions I asked the administrator was, when did this happen? I'm assuming it happened like that same day or the day before. And she's like, it happened like 2 weeks ago. The lady just told us today that she clicked on something 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's, you know, just like Krista said, when you do something like that, you know, you need to say something immediately. It's going to be much easier than waiting, even waiting a few minutes. You know, you need to be screaming, I clicked it, I'm sorry.
There should be a bell to ring.
Yeah. IT, get IT quickly.
Or the big button. You know, there it is. But congratulations, Jens. Anything else, Elizabeth, you want to add about what people should learn from what happened to you? Did you?
Don't click on anything.
Yeah. If it seems weird, it may actually be weird.
And it's David's fault, whatever.
Yeah, it's always David's fault. Okay, so the last two things. One is tell people the truth. Do you actually listen to the podcast?
Yes.
Okay, a lot of people listen to this on audio, so you can't just nod.
Oh, no, I don't. No, actually we do. Weekly, we go through it, take notes, talk to each other. Something happens, I will come to Don and say, you know, I heard on this podcast about blah, blah, you know, what are we doing? Is this part of our plan? Krista, we need to put this in our risk analysis, whatever. I mean, still after all these episodes, we're still learning.
Yep. And I actually write a blog about it. And, you know, my blogs are really funny. If somebody wants to come and actually make a comment to let me know that it's just not going in cyber security void world.
All right. So how do they get to it?
From our website, and they can get to it www.kardonhq.com.
She's like my wife. She does a www, and I always look at her going, people don't need that anymore.
That's not necessary. www.
Well, whatever. I don't even know what that. Okay.
Kardon HQ. www. You don't know what www is? World Wide Web.
Okay. So that's
She's like, I don't care.
I mean, that's not something I had to learn.
Right-hand corner of the screen, go to resources and blog.
That's right. Go to the blog.
Yeah, we have a ton of resources out there on kardonhq.com, our resources page that are freely available, including the podcast and our blog. And Elizabeth will explain what layman's thoughts are about a podcast episode.
Mine's the funny part, and then Krista has to rewrite it to make it grammatically and spelled right.
Yeah, there is that flaw that came built into that robot we brought in.
Yeah.
So
I learned a long time ago that I can't listen to the podcast while I'm driving. with other people in the car because I will answer Donna.
Yeah. His wife is like, "Are you talking to her?"
And I was like, she asked me a question. But you're listening to the podcast. I know. I didn't think about that.
And are you laughing at yourself?
Yeah, I do that a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, that was funny. I laughed at that. So, but you do listen, you do learn, and we do also document it as ongoing security awareness and HIPAA training. Do we not?
We do
I
in
think
our
that's what we
Comply
do.
Assistant. Yeah, in our Comply Assistant account, we document all podcast trainings, webinars. And I actually
Yeah.
even tell people to sign up for the podcast. And don't listen, Donna. I tell them to print out the email. And after they listen to the podcast, to make notes on it about what they learned or what they need to check with their MSP or things like that. Scan it, and that's part of their training. So they have weekly training.
Well, there's actually, I help, these two with the show notes. So the show notes, if you download the Help Me with HIPAA app, the show notes, which you see on the website, the Help Me with HIPAA podcast website for each of the podcasts, you see those there are in a PDF form. If you download the Help Me with HIPAA app, mobile app, and you can download those, and that can be your, like Carla was saying, that can be your training for your episode. So it gives you a kind of a brief summary of what the podcast is about, but there's so much more information in the podcast if you've listened to it than what's in the show notes. So don't use just those to get a whole lot more information, because these two ramble and they talk about stuff a lot more in depth.
Yeah, we do, but we know it.
Yeah.
All right.
Krista sent me one the other day. She goes, "That was a good episode." And I'm like, is she poking fun at me or something? Like, what episode was it? What are you talking about?
Yeah, which episode was it? We don't know.
Krista doesn't tell me anything like that.
And they will go, "It's in episode 236," and I'm like, I have no idea what we were talking about then. None.
Yeah, that's like saying to me, the 236th time you talked to Donna? No.
Do not. So as far as it is Thanksgiving, I am thankful to have such a wonderful group to work with and laugh with, and looking forward to another year, 2022. We got exciting things going on, and a virtual boot camp on 2/22/22.
22.
Yeah, just so I can remember the date. It's exciting, so I don't have to go, "When is it again, David?" He loves that. And we have some exciting stuff. So save that, block out the second week of September. Just block that week out and say you're going to be hanging out with us. But I wouldn't be confident that we could do any of those things if I didn't have this team with me. So thankful for all of yuns. As my grandmother always said, yuns, when she was, "Yuns, get in there and sit down." I'm thankful for this entire team, all four of you, even David.
I'm on the team.
Yeah.
It took me 9.5 years to get here.
I'm thankful for the team too, because I feel like we can do anything together.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm thankful for, working with the three of you, and even you, David, but working so long with, Donna and Carla over the years. I mean, it seems like forever, and it's not just, a company, we're friends as well. I mean, Elizabeth and I go way back from our, high school years. So, I mean, we've been friends for forever, but we all seem to kind of fit together, and we're not only coworkers, but we're also friends, and that makes it much more enjoyable to work with your friends as well. So
David's
that.
getting all misty.
Suck it up, David.
Yeah.
Look it up, Buttercup.
I'm just glad I'm not the odd man out.
You are the odd
You're
man
odd.
out.
You're odd.
You're odd.
You're odd.
You're definitely odd.
I like to tell people that every so often my wife will let me run off with 4 other women and stay for the weekend. I don't say any more than that.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to her over the weekend and check in with her and do all the other things.
Oh yeah, she'll stop by, stick her head in when I'm talking to him. Hey, how you doing? All right. Anybody else want to be thankful?
I love you guys. I mean it.
Yeah, you guys. They all and they all stressed out when I told them they had to do this. I didn't even give them more than 24 hours notice because they 2 of them freak out.
12, less than 12.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I had warned you about it. I said we were going to do it. I brought it up multiple times, and then yesterday I'm like, "Hey, we need to do this in the morning."
Yeah.
So
Elizabeth showed up and I'm like, "Are you wearing makeup?"
I even did my hair.
Yeah. I was like, she's like, "I got to be ready for my 15 minutes of shame."
That's right. Yeah. If y'all need me to be on a Zoom call like spontaneous, I don't even look half this presentable. So don't think that you're gonna get it. So
That's okay. Look, I ain't got no pants on. See Carla's face.
Okay, boy, and we got to cut that part out.
And for those of you on the podcast, you don't even, or the listeners don't even know what just got shown.
Yeah, but
It was a leg.
I
Just a
edit
leg.
I edit the videos, so it's hitting it. It's gonna hit YouTube.
Yeah.
Carla, that's
That does
hilarious.
not surprise me one bit. He may show up to the next boot camp or even in September with no pants. So who knows?
I might
We'll
might
just
be
have
I might be a representation of your compliance program.
Fair.
Naked.
Yeah. Ain't got
Pants are
nothing.
down. Come on in.
Network exposed. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. We might have we might have to start the help me with HIPAA after dark.
There you go. All right, Mr. Sims.
All right. Well, let's close it out. That is our show for today. Thanks for listening. Remember Donna, myself, and Krista, and Carla, and Elizabeth. HIPAA is not about compliance. It's about patient care.